Look, Jamie, I suppose no doubt about it, this has been a difficult week for Leinster. You're friends with a lot of the lads in the group still. What's the sense around the place? How are they all feeling?
And I'd call it lucky or unlucky. I was on the same flight as them coming back after the game, and you can just imagine it wasn't exactly a joyous occasion. But I think they're all physically drained, mentally drained, emotionally drained, and you know, to a certain degree, they have to decompress a little bit before they can really look at the game in the cold light of day. And when they did that, they'll be pretty annoyed. You know, La Rochelle came out with a really good strategy, a strategy that La Rochelle used last year. Saracens have used twice on them and has been effective, and they just don't seem to have an answer for it. So I think that's what will kind of kill them. And also, when they look at the game, you know, you're against 14 men, 4 points up, coming into the last 10 minutes. You know, there's a group there that, in a really strange way, probably have to learn how to win these championship games, these knockout games. So a lot of regret, but no better way than coming here on a day like today to turn the page and get on with the next challenge.
Peter, you've been in those situations with Munster over the years. How do you pick yourself up after a European defeat like that?
Yeah, it's not easy. I suppose the way the structure of the season is this time round, normally the European game, and if it was a semi-final or final, is the last game, and you know, you've a lot to dwell on for your whole summer if you're not on an Irish tour. But look, there's a short turnaround here, and they have to gather themselves. As an injection of a couple of new players in the team, which I think is going to help. The likes of Larmer, I suppose O'Loughlin on the wing, Dan Sheehan, these guys looking for an opportunity, these guys pushing for Irish honours, but also for, you know, to win some silverware, because the last couple of years for Leinster, yes, they've won this competition and they're going for 5 in a row. But these guys on the fringes, they want to stake a claim. So there's a good balance, I think, there with the Leinster side, with getting guys out there again from last week to get over that hangover. But it's massively important for them as a group, because I think to come away, if they came away with no silverware, I think for this group of players wouldn't be acceptable.
Before we talk about the URC, Jamie, just to look at that European dream, I suppose, if you want to call it that way, you know, you referenced it there. If you look at the last 5 years, right, and there's a graphic there that we have that we'll show you, and it'll just give you a sense of where this team have been at. Since 2018, obviously they win it. They go runner-up in 2019. They make a quarter-final in 2020, semi-final in 2021, and runner-up in 2022 again. There's two ways of looking at this, okay? One is the consistency of a team that can continuously deliver like that and get to 3 finals in 5 years. On the flip side, though, they only win 1. Where do you sit on this?
Well, I see it 2 different ways, right? So if you're the organisation and you're kind of setting these goals or your 5-year plans or what's acceptable, it's probably to be in, you know, get out of your group and get into the knockout stages. So they've done pretty well on that. And then it's be competitive and be semi-final, final in your domestic league every year, right? So they're pretty consistent. However, frustration will start creeping in, particularly with the player group, where they haven't been able to get over that line, and it comes back to maybe there's been a lot of success in it, like over the last 10, 13 years, you know, and you've had a cohort that have come into it through the academy when Leinster had 3 stars in a jersey, then they got a 4th when they were kind of breaking into it, but I don't think they potentially don't know. You know, plan A is working really well. They can throw the ball around and they absolutely carve it up. But when you get into knockout rugby and you're against a big side, you know, they'll take that pace away from you. They'll take the set piece away from you. They'll slow it down. What's plan B? And I think the frustration that's potentially creeping in is that there's no iteration of play. There's no evolution of play. All right.